unprecedented, never before. That's the conversational tone. Because we look around the world and we're all out of our comfort zone. And as we think about that, instead of standing tall, it makes us feel like we're not in control. We feel weak, we feel small. Our emotions are mixed, they collide in their variety. Sad, afraid, lonely, stressed, all coated with anxiety. Anxiety can hit us when we feel really restricted. We feel like we're suffering, we say that's not fair, we feel afflicted. There's so many things we're being told not to do, but we want light at the end of the tunnel, we want breakthrough. We long for what once was, we want to go back to before. The new normal is difficult, we want life to be more. So what do? Where do we turn? When we start to feel anxious, what do we discern? My hope is my faith. I'm a Christian following Jesus, and I believe that in our anxious lives, He's the only one who frees us. I want to tell you about a guy named Paul, an ancient Jesus follower. He was really on the ball. Do not be anxious, wrote Paul, a Bible writer of some renown. You may say that's easy for him to say. He wasn't experiencing lockdowns. But that's where we'd be wrong, you see. He's writing from a cell. And what's more, on top of this, he tells people to rejoice as well. It's a different message from what we hear around the place, that we can rejoice and not be anxious, even in restricted space. Paul says he finds his joy in Jesus. That's what he turns to in times of dread. But what about this anxiety? What does Paul do with it instead? Do not be anxious about anything. He reminds the Lord is near. And understand for some of you, maybe that doesn't feel clear. Put a request before God. That's what Paul says to do. After time in prison and the life he's lived, that's the result he's come to. In every situation, depend on God. Talk to Him in prayer. For those of you who have never done it before, I can understand this seems a bit rare. With thanks. That's how our prayers and petitions are meant to be presented. I know for some of you, maybe I sound a bit demented. But listen to Paul, because he talks about peace. And if we're honest, that's what we all want, our anxiety to cease. This peace, Paul says, comes from God. It goes beyond our own understanding. And what if that was real and accessible? Wouldn't that be outstanding? It's a peace that can guard our heart and mind. Now that's something I could get behind. Our hearts are more than our pumping organ. It's our control centre. It's what makes us tick. Our minds are what we think about. It can control if we feel amazing or if we feel weak. How we think and feel about God, ourselves and the world that we live in, is so important. So of course our heart and mind is where God's peace would begin. COVID-19 has given us all time to think. It's made us feel anxious. We don't swim, we sink. For me, I'm a Christian and I love this bestseller, not because it tells me what to do, but because it points me to God and Jesus. In difficult times, He helps pull me through. Now don't hear me wrong, I'm not saying the Christian life is a breeze, but I'm saying that I have someone to turn to when I'm feeling a sense of unease. The Bible gives someone to turn to, the one who is and gives peace. The Bible points to Jesus. He's the master. He's the centerpiece. He's the one who gave Paul joy in all the trouble he got himself in. The lie of this world is that all of our strength has to come from within. The Bible says someone designed us and put us all together and put us in the groups we're in so we'd get to know one another. So we're made for each other. We're made to be relational. If you remember that, look out for one another. Wouldn't that be sensational? But the Bible teaches more than that. Yes, we're made for each other. God also says, I sent you Jesus, the one who came to be your brother. The one who knows what it is to live in this world and all its brokenness. He knows what it is to leave this world without leaving us hopeless. The reason God can offer us hope in the midst of all the danger, well, that's why Christians at Christmas talk about the one who came in a manger. The one who came not to rub it in our face, but He humbled Himself to be like us, able to take our place. So I hope you're able to do like Paul, rejoice, but most of all, do not be anxious. Your heart and mind don't need to be a free-for-all. But be thankful and present your request to the God that He points to. I know He's there for me and I believe He's there for you. This is an anxious time that we're living in. In the midst of all the drama, look to Jesus, the non-anxious presence, the one who knows what it is to face trauma. So what about this do not? Does it sound rather freeing? It sounds like a better way to live as a normal human being. I hope you have someone to turn to if it's all getting too much. The good news of this message is it's available to all of us. So whether you have people that you regularly go, why not look to Jesus, the one who revealed Himself that we could get to know?